good evening, and welcome to IntellectualRadio.com. Here's the life with Zemrah and Ed. And tell your friends and family and everybody you know, they got to start really, really tuning in to Here's the Life. We have some good guests. We have some good food for thought, like we always say. Week before last, we had Dr. Yvonne Gilly Wallace on talking about the veterans and things that the initiative is doing, and they are doing some wonderful things. I was very, very, very disappointed. I know somebody knows some veterans, and veterans don't get it like they should get it. And what they're doing is just phenomenal, phenomenal. So I'm saying that I got one email and last week was awesome. Friday and Saturday they had we were in on the Saturday
they just don't believe
seminar.
We can help. That's what
well
we can.
Zemrah one Zemrah the number one at yahoo.com. Send in some names and emails for your veteran family or veteran friends. They are truly doing some great things. They have a lot of great support. They got a lot of people behind them and what they're doing because people are beginning to really and truly feel what veterans feel, and it's they're tuning into that. So it's a lot of good. I mean, if you get to 70% with your percentage, they remove your real estate taxes if you have a home. I mean, it's just a lot of good things to look at. So if you've been a veteran for a long time and you're really not getting your due, you need to touch somebody that you know that's a veteran and send an email to Zemrah1 at yahoo.com. So that's my take on that, because you really missed it with Gavin, attorney Gavin.
Mm-hmm.
His book is just top notch. And Ed, tell a little bit about what his book entails.
Well, Gavin is an attorney. He has a self-help book out that teaches you how to overcome a lot of struggles and challenges in your life by using certain principles, just basic principles of truth and honesty, and getting to know yourself and overcoming all obstacles that you may encounter. And as a veteran, I found it to be most helpful, because a lot of times when you've been a veteran for a long time, you kind of give up on the system. You give up on thinking that, well, they're not going to do anything for me. I've been trying to get my benefits for years and years, and nothing's ever happened. Well, I'm here to tell you that I did the same thing for 30 and 40 years, and they really got me all the benefits I needed to help me enjoy the rest of my life, and got me way up there in percentage-wise.
Yeah. Well, the book is Attorney Gavin is Mind Plus Grind. And it's just, I mean, it just spoke to you. His message comes from a biblical side and a very informative side of how you, again, how we think and how we receive things, and go, like I always say, even going for what you know, going for what you want in life, and not feeling like you don't deserve it. You take a seat back and you have to kind of think, do you deserve it? And yes, you do. And he was even saying that sometimes when he's getting a certain way, he knows that he has to just kind of take a step back and just take a deep breath and just rethink things. And sometimes we have to do that, especially when you're doing a lot. And he does a lot. Matter of fact, he's the owner of Tilly's Restaurant in Calumet City, Illinois, and he's owner of chains of restaurants. So he's going to come on our show and talk about the book, Mind to Grind, because you have to work hard.
I like that title, Mind to Grind. It was that you can think about some of your problems, think about some of the issues, but the thing is, you must grind it out. You must never stop working. Never stop
That's what it
pushing
is.
and getting and going for what you really need and what you want.
Yeah.
He said, don't ever stop because just when you stop is the time you might have a breakthrough.
Yeah.
So don't ever stop. I
Yeah.
don't care how old you are and how long it's been. Never stop trying.
Yeah, because it starts in the mind. And then you just have to work, work to make it come a reality. That's what I did with my concert. We were looking at my first concert that was 2011 over the weekend. And it came like Reginald Torian was my host. And that's what he said. It started in the mind, and it did.
Yeah.
I had always said that I was going to do a concert. And hey, I put everything in it. And when you put the time and the thought into it to make it happen, whatever the dream is. But when you put the time, people will really and truly rally behind you.
Yes, so
They will really support
that was
you.
Reginald Torian, the lead singer
Of the
the
impressions,
Impressions.
yes, yes. So you just have to um, grab hold of the things that you want to do and want to accomplish, and just make sure you do what it takes to do that. And so that's my take on our segment with Yvonne Gilly Wallace. And then she also had Friday evening was the book review with the sister. I can't think of her name, and I apologize for that. But she was awesome. Yvonne said, I was working late, so I didn't get an opportunity to participate in her book review. But we're also going to get her on our show too, her and Gavin at different times. But um, it'll be very, very informative and very exciting to have them on to join us here at Intellectual Radio. Um, so that's for my segment again on Dr. Yvonne Gilly Wallace and the initiative with the veterans. And it's a multi faith initiative. And I even love that name because everything comes from faith. And that's one of the things, too. A segment in Gavin's book that he talks about is faith. And you have to have faith in order to make things happen into your life because you have to believe that it will happen.
As a corporate a person and the head of a company, he was trying to set an example to have companies build their companies on faith, build the faith, and then build a company around that principle,
Hmm.
which would benefit everyone, and that prove to everyone that you can make money, just by being faithful and being honest. But people don't believe that you can do that.
Yeah,
But just because you're rich, that you got to be a crook. You really don't.
absolutely not. You really don't. He's not a crook. So, I mean, we got a lot of uh, uh, wonderful business people that do it the straight and narrow way
But they
and become
silent.
very
That's why they call
prosperous.
them a silent majority. They don't say a whole lot. They don't go around boasting about what they do. They just do it.
Yeah, well, that's the best evidence in the world. Talk is cheap. That's why whenever I've ever did any endeavor, when you know anything, you get an invite in the mail, or Zemrah's getting ready to open up this or do this or come out with this. The best thing in the world is when you have a dream. Sometimes too, is until it manifests itself. Sometimes it's best to just lay back, do what you're going to do, and then come forth with it, as opposed to doing a lot of talk. Because people are the first to say talk is cheap, but when you really and truly are serious about what you're doing, it can happen. Like I always say, age is nothing but a number. As
Catch
long
me.
as you can walk, talk, and breathe, that's my thing. Keep it moving. And then and then a little FYI on our segment with Pamela last week. I did a little thinking about that, and
That's the
she's always
that's,
wonderful to bring good knowledge. And one of the
that's the
things that,
songwriter family.
yeah, oh yeah, Pamela Wills. They
Yeah,
know Pamela. I said that was here with us last week.
you know, everybody do know.
Pam, they know, and but they know she comes on our show the first Tuesday of the month. But just wanted to say too that, like I kind of said last week, that if you have a relationship that you have had for a long time, just know and understand that anything that's worth having is worth fighting on. I mean, worth fighting for. And sometimes, like I said last week, you might think that it's greener on the other side, and it winds up being worse. So, whatever you might be going through, uh, sometimes it pays to kind of be still and just work through, because it can't be sometimes as bad as we think it is. And I believe in working through uh, issues and talking it out. And sometimes it's important. And when we talked about revisiting your relationship, you revisit in a very positive way things that you might have done for me 5 years ago. Now I might need something different. So that when we say revisit, you don't revisit to see if the relationship needs to continue. You revisit it to make it better, to see what we can do to strengthen the relationship, or to encourage one another. Uh, and that's how you really and truly grow. That's how you develop a relationship, not somebody say boo and you ready to run. And for women that deal with married men very seldom leave their wives. It's just something that does not happen. And if you think so, or if they make you think they are, normally they don't. And then if you give up and you give in, like my song says about love is possible, don't give up and don't you doubt. Believe me, you'll get just what you put out. When you know that love is on your mind, love is possible. So just remember that, and don't give up so fast, because while you giving up, she's sitting in the cut waiting on you to give up. And so what you're doing is you're feeding into that. So no, you tell, if you happen to see her or happen to meet her, tell her it ain't happening. I ain't going nowhere. She'll get the message. So it's just important. Those are just little things that I think about. That
You say,
is
well, now,
very.
do you think the grass is greener and turn out to be astroturf?
I'm telling you. So you just have to understand that it's just anything that's worth waiting on, that you've waited on, or that you've dreamed about, and it finally happened. Stick with it. I just really believe in that. And running away from a relationship, unless it's just detrimental to you, then that's a different case. But if it's just something, no, nobody wants infidelity in the relationship. Absolutely not. But if it's not something that is going to just be, I mean, just disastrous, you don't give in to that, because that's what the other woman usually wants. So just FYI, keep that in mind. And then, like we said last week, look at your pros and cons and make sure if your pros outweigh the cons, hey, revisit your relationship for strength, for substance, more substance, and revisit it to see where you're at within yourself and him within himself, and see what you can do to just bring it more closer together.
One
Because
of the
really and truly, you're never really far apart as you think. It's just because you've changed some, and probably he's changed some, especially if you've been together for years. So, but you do what it takes to bring that
well,
union closer.
there's an important question to ask either part. Is a statement like, "This is how I feel when you do this and when you do that," and see what the response is. See if are they going to take and try to defend themselves, or do they really care about how you feel? But when you say, "This is how you make me feel," I'm talking about how I feel, not how you feel. And this is when you do this, this makes me feel this way. And see if they're concerned about how you really feel, other than trying to defend their position
Yeah,
and hoping that they're right.
yeah,
And some people like to be right rather than be happy.
yeah. And that's the point. That's the point. But you want to take the happy as opposed to the right, because, like I
Well,
always
just ask the
say,
question because you have to
nobody's
understand.
perfect. It's going to always be some obstacles, but
Yeah,
how you
because
work through something is what
right,
counts.
because you're not. This person wasn't born with you.
Right.
This person was individual, was grown before they met you.
That's
And they
right.
have their own life and they have their own mission in life and their own dreams. All the time it's not connected with you. It's individual. So you have to respect that. I think something more important than love is respect.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd much rather a person respect me than love me. Because love is, well, it's flighting. It comes and goes.
Not real love,
It's up.
baby.
No, most people don't know what that is. It's not real love.
Yeah.
Real love.
Real love is not, real love doesn't take flight.
Well, real
Real
love is
love
not
is
real love. Real love is
steadfast.
not words. Real love is action. what you
right.
do, not what you say.
That's right. And it's steadfast. It's steadfast regardless of faults because a feeling is when I feel what you feel and you feel what I feel, that's how you join together. That's what makes a couple one.
Well, that's what
It's
people
when
look for
you,
all their life.
yeah,
They search
yeah,
for that.
right,
People who are together now, been together for years, they still look.
yeah, yeah. But that's the problem that they have to work on. But if you love your mate, then you work on that together. And that's how you become. When people say that you become one, that's how you really become one. Is when you intertwine, and I feel what you feel, and you feel what I feel. It can't be a one-sided feeling where it's always about how one feels, but it's how you feel together, and you just make that intertwine.
Wow, that's good advice. And I still would say people they don't question enough. They don't do enough research into the person's personality rather than just how they look.
Yeah,
They don't ask them how do you resolve issue with your parents, what's the relationship with your last
relationship.
relationship, how did
Hmm.
it end and why.
Yeah,
We don't ask those questions. We just go along and try to figure it out ourselves or come up with our own answers.
yeah,
Ask the person, see what they say.
yeah.
And it's not a matter of whether they tell you the truth. It's sometimes it's just how they answer,
Right.
not what they say, but how do they answer. And we don't want to know the answer because we don't want to give in to we like them or they look good. But you need to ask these questions in order to get the truth. Otherwise, you're going to find out later on that you're not compatible at all.
Yeah,
And then you try to blame it on the other person. You know, say, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to her. She changed. No, you didn't look for it. It was
yeah,
always there. The person didn't change. You just found out.
yeah,
So most of the blame is yours.
yeah, yeah. So that's our take really from last week, and
It was deep.
yeah, it was good. So we want to talk a little bit about the winter is coming, um, and so we want to talk a little bit about um, just some not the well the factor we've talked about making sure that you keep your resistance up with all of the weather coming, and then with all of the thing about COVID and the uh, flu season and all of that coming up. And I think, and like I always say, the main thing is that you make sure that you keep your resistance up, keep your immune system up. Doing vitamin C is key, always doing your vitamin C. And then they have even the immune gummies that you can take, because you can take that, don't have to worry about water. And then Ed even takes right now, he takes Geritol, Geritol with iron. So
Yeah, it's
that's the
old.
old school.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, I
That's why
know.
you can't really find it.
Yeah, yeah. You have to really order that. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about too is that, and again, we, of course, are only giving food for thought. I get this from some of the herbs and all that I take. Herbs is really nothing to a certain extent, but medicine as well, but it doesn't do the damage to your body that these actual meds can do. But you have to be careful with the herbs too. That's why sometimes I take them for a while. You get off of them, you can get back on them. Because if you take some herbs, you can't take too long because then your body becomes dependent on it. And so you have to be mindful of herbs too, because herbs can be very, very strong. So you want to be mindful of that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about blood pressure, because blood pressure, make sure that you take your blood pressure medicine as the doctor prescribes.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't
it's
want to take it because of side effects and all of that, and that's understandable. A lot of men don't want to take it because sometimes it affects them sexually. Sometimes it even pulls the libido down of women. I was just telling my producer, Wanda B, that um, your blood pressure medication, a lot of these medications, because amlopipine, lisinopril, valsartan, uh, Norbec, a lot of those blood pressure medicines have the side effect. I mean, they thin your hair out. They just can, they really and truly from long, long, excuse me,
Makes you cough.
it can, well, that's the lisinopril makes you cough, but going long term on it. But again, you cannot not take your blood pressure medicine, like amlodipine, excuse me, valsartan, those blood pressure medicines. A lot of times they say that they're better really to take at night, and then it works on you while you are sleeping, and you really tend even to rest better. What is going on
Medical,
with me?
Metaprophenol, like I take, as you may notice, will give you a hoarse voice, like I have
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah. So after some of the medications again, they do give you
Side
yeah,
effects.
they give you side effects. So but it's something that you have to do. You have to take it. But um also, one of the things that's very good for blood pressure, and you can take, of course, you take your medicine, but then during the day, beet juice is very good. A cup of beet juice every day for about 4 weeks really is good for your blood pressure. I was surprised when I read that even prunes, and you can get the prunes and take, well, you might have some side effects from that for real, but
The diuretic.
you can do no, it's more than diuretic, prunes.
Mm,
But prunes, you can do prunes, say two or three, well, maybe
four,
depending on if you're, say, constipated or
up to
whatever,
four,
then you
yeah.
would do 4 to 5. But just for blood pressure, like 2 to 3 a day. And then another thing that's real good, bananas are real good for, say, potassium, even because if you're doing a blood pressure medication, because potassium is really good for your blood pressure too. That's why a lot of times they give you that chlorcore with your prescription blood pressure medicine
To
because of the
replace the
fact that
potassium.
it helps the potassium. So because if too much of the hydrochlorothiazide, which is in a lot of which is the water pill, which is in a lot of the blood pressure medications, like it's a combination. Then if you, depending, it can make you go to the bathroom a lot, where you urinate a lot. So that's why if you do, bananas are good for potassium. Berries are good. Your blueberries, your blackberries, your strawberries. Another thing that's real good is watermelon. Watermelon, they say, has a lot of sugar in it, so you have to be careful. Say if a person's a diabetic, then of course you can't do a whole lot of um, sugary like bananas and watermelon and all that. Not necessarily good for diabetics. So you have to, that's when it comes to really and truly monitoring and making sure that you set yourself up to kind of just do small quantities. You don't do like me. I eat quite a bit of watermelon in the summer. I love it. I eat quite a bit, and but you still have to be careful because of it's the natural sugar in it, and that's amazing because you would say, "Wow." But it's the natural sugar they say that can, be a problem. Also, they say that's good for your blood pressure is dark chocolate. Now, I thought that was something, but
It,
they say
it
dark
is.
chocolate can be very, very healthy for you. So, and you don't have to have maybe a couple of squares of that. That's real good. And then your oats, like oatmeal, is very good. Like we do, I don't do wheat bread because wheat can be very bad and very harsh on the system. So I do more
Seven
oats for
multigrain.
yeah, I like the multigrain and the oats. But then it is so amazing how much, just like when you look at carbs and when you look at sugar, sugar is in your ketchup, sugar is in the this, sugar is in the that. And even in a lot of your healthy foods that we think we're eating, you got your sugar, you got your carbs. And like I bought some pure black cherry juice, which is really, really good for your joints. And I bought that the other day, and it was like, I couldn't believe it. It was like 57 grams of carbs or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And but Pat explained it to me. My girlfriend Pat kind of broke it down. She said that's like two. maybe two and a half carbs. But it was just amazing how a lot of times when you see 100% natural, you got to turn over and read the labels. You got to look at the sugar. You got to look at the carbs. I don't like to become obsessed with that, because if you become too obsessed with that, you won't eat nothing. And that is really
You'll
true.
starve.
I mean, really, because I mean, nothing. You think that you're eating healthy, and then you look up and like they tell you that kale. Now, everybody has always said that kale greens are very healthy for you, and then a month later, no, kale is not that good. It's too harsh of a green leaf. So I mean, it's just sometimes crazy. But green leaf like spinach. Spinach is very good. Spinach is a natural diuretic and a natural cleanser too. It cleans you out very, very good.
Did anybody ever did a study on why that high blood pressure and diabetes is so prevalent in the black community?
Well, I think
And what is it in Africa? Do they have a problem with high blood pressure?
I'm sure they do,
Are
Ed.
they on high blood pressure
I'm
medications
sure
like
they
we
are.
are? I don't think
They
so.
might be. I
Uh,
mean, some people are. I mean, because just like Brother Akieza, I mean, he's lived in Africa almost. So I mean, it just depends. I mean, they eat natural, some natural stuff, but then a lot of areas have become so Americanized until you have to kind of weigh it.
they all on high blood pressure medicine.
Yeah, because I think it's prevalent in our race because,
Uh,
especially amongst the American, because we it's the
Stress.
diet, and it's a lot of stress.
Stressed out.
It's a
That's what
lot
it
of
is.
stress. We
Stressed out.
stress out because there's so much going on, like with all these killings and all these kids, and so imagine what a lot of these parents are going through
Well,
with
even
all of
if it's not
this.
happening in your neighborhood, just the fact that you hear about it stresses you out.
Yeah,
If you listen to it on the news, if you listen to the news every evening, that will stress you out.
yeah.
That's why I don't do that.
Yeah, but you have to you get stressed out with the Bears and with with the basketball games and
No,
with the
no,
with all of
that's
that.
a
So
different kind of
I
stress.
know you gotta win, you gotta do
That's
this.
a different kind of stress.
Yeah.
No.
But anyway, you just have to it's in the race. I was reading that they say that black people have nearly twofold uh, the health mortality rate than our white peers for hypertension.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Related disease deaths 2018, and this was in 2018, but it was reported July 20th. According to the study that year, the death rate for black men was 206.6 per 100,000 people, compared with 117.2 for men. So that,
Yeah,
that that was. So why do you think that uh, black men become so stressed out? I think it's
because they black.
prison.
Come on now.
Yeah,
If you black in America, you stressed out.
yeah.
Period. Just because of the environment that you live in and have to live in every day that other people don't even know anything about.
Yeah,
They don't realize what you go through every day
yeah,
on your
it's
job and even everywhere else.
yeah,
You should be stressed,
yeah,
you know.
it's rough.
But there's a way to deal with that too spiritually, because you can't let the condition that you live in overtake you. You have to take charge of that and use the power to define your own future, and not let those things affect you like that.
Well, they affect you,
In a
but you
negative
just
way.
right, but you just have to know how to put yourself in a better position. That's what you first have to do,
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
have to know that, and then that's again where faith comes in. But another couple of things that's good for your potassium is mushrooms are very good.
Really?
Sweet potatoes, well, we know sweet potatoes are very good,
I love sweet
and
potatoes.
tuna.
I love sweet potatoes. I eat tuna all the time.
But sweet potatoes can be really good if they're really in season. You can just put a little butter on it and just kind of stir it in. If they're really in season, you don't need any
Sugar.
brown sugar or
You don't.
anything. But I use this sugar, and it comes in brown sugar, it comes in confectionery, and it comes in granular called Swerve.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it is expensive. It's about 8 ounces. You might pay almost $8 or $9 for the bag, but the brown sugar is just wonderful,
It's good for
and
you.
it's not sugar. So I mean, all of that, and it's wonderful to cook your peach cobblers with, I mean, your cobblers with
Where do you normally
your,
find that?
well, you can get it basically at Whole Foods. You can get it at Trader Joe's, I believe. You can get it at Jewel's, but
Okay.
I'm not going to advertise their stores. But I'm just saying that, you know, you can, it does, you can get it at those stores to be able to share with you as a sugar alternative, and it does work.
Oh, good.
Um, and then I wanted to talk. So that's basically what's good for. And then make sure, like I said, that you get in your leafy green vegetables. You can never go wrong with greens, and you know that's what we love. And you don't always have to have meat in your greens. I mean, I know a lot of times because I have found I really like sweet meat as opposed to even turkey tails because turkey tails can be really, really, really greasy. They really can. That's why if I prepare them separate, let them cook down, and then pour all of that grease off of them, and then put them in my pot of greens or string beans. But what also you can do is you can season your greens with the green seasoning, garlic, onions, and then another thing that I use when I don't use um, meat, I use chicken bouillon cubes, and that really seasons greens real good too when you're doing without meat. So you don't always have to use meat, but that's just, you know, a lot of people also too for potassium. A lot of people like avocado. Avocado can be very high though on your cholesterol, but it's also a very healthy meat too. You know, I mean, vegetable, fruit. And then kiwi is another good fruit for blood pressure. So those are just some good things for potassium and blood pressure that I kind of combined.
So now, do
Now,
you take these herbs with your uh, blood pressure medicine? You don't stop the blood
well, you
pressure
don't
medicine.
stop. That's why I said you don't stop because we're
But if
not
you take
doctors. We're
these,
telling anybody to substitute. You take your medicine as directed by your physician. We're just giving you some FYI, and we're not telling you what to do. Just telling you some
in addition to your
alternatives in
medicine,
addition to your medicine.
okay.
Yeah, I started off with that because I don't want anybody to be misunderstood. We are not in the position to do that. But and then we're going to have a friend of ours, John Gayton, to come on, who really and truly knows a lot about, I mean, the depths of herbs when it comes to keeping your bloodline clean and keeping your arteries clean. And I have John to come
He
on.
also
And John
says,
always says, well, I'm not a doctor. I said, no, we disclose that. But you have some good information for people because although people know that they need to take their medications and all, they still look for alternatives. You take your medicine, and then you would take your herbs 3, 4 hours later, even sometimes 2 hours later. It depends on what you take. But always take what you are supposed to take that has been directed to you by your doctor. And then also, that's why I'm going over these food lines as opposed to even the herbs, because to be able to eat an apple or banana or watermelon or avocado, you know, tuna, that just gives you an idea of foods that will give you potassium and give you some of your natural herbs and all.
well, John knows he knows the effect each herb has on the body.
Yeah,
So which
yeah,
makes
he's
it more
good at
which
that.
makes it more effective.
Yeah, he's real good at that. And then I want to talk about something, and that's what you have to. The potassium is very, very important to maintain to keep your potassium up because that is one of the things that keeps your kidneys healthy. So that's why we have to be very, very careful and mindful of that as far as keeping your kidneys flushed, drinking plenty of water, but then still you don't overdo with the water. People say these gallons of water and getting to your
No,
pounds and all that. You're supposed to drink water really when you're thirsty. You don't overdo anything, but you know, you make sure that you drink at least 4 to 6 glasses of water. That keeps your kidneys flushed really, really well.
and in addition to that, everybody's not the same. So you drink water when your body tells you to. When your body says you're thirsty, don't grab a pop or beer or whatever. Get you
Right.
some water first.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. And then another thing that I think that plagues people that is really it can be very frustrating. And I think a lot of people suffer with that is acid reflux, GERD. And a lot of times people don't know they got this indigestion and they don't really and truly
Heartburn.
know heartburn and all that. And one of the things that you would make sure that if you suffer with acid reflux or GERD, if you smoke, you need to really and truly work on not smoking. Well, you know that just you should just stop that if at
Stop.
all
Period.
possible. And that's easy for people to say that don't smoke. So that's not a judgment. It's just something because my daughter smokes, and I tell her all the time that that's something that she really needs to work on. But it's important to know that if you suffer with reflux, acid reflux, that's one of the things that you need to eliminate. Also, when you rest at night, you try to keep your head elevated. You know, maybe on a couple of pillows or whatever. You don't lay
Well,
flat.
people don't know this, but I used to smoke. Yeah. I don't. Nobody knows me now that ever seen me smoke. But I used to smoke when I was younger. But I used a determination type factor. I decided that smoking was trying to kill me, and everybody else in the world was trying to kill me. So why should I help them out and kill myself and then pay for the privilege?
Yeah.
And what was it now? $8, $9 a
Oh
pack?
no, honey, them cigarettes I think a pack now are about 10 and 12
That's
dollars.
ridiculous. And
Yeah,
when they
you
hit
get a carton, and I think you out of 100 and some dollars now.
almost 200, but
Not 200
I
Ed.
was like, I was smoking every day when I was young in my 20s, and cigarettes was like 75 cents a pack.
Were they?
It was 75 cents. I'm serious. And when I said to myself, if they get to be $1, I'm quitting.
So when they got to be a dollar, you said shalom
I
aleichem.
quit. I made it was a made up mind type of thing. I am not gonna contribute to my own death. I am not gonna and pay for the fact of doing it
Yeah.
because I ain't doing it. I stopped quitting cold turkey. I haven't smoked since. I'm like, not me. I
Well,
ain't
that's the
doing it.
Constitution. That's really and truly
But
that's a made up mind.
I find that you can do that with just about anything.
Oh, absolutely.
I got people who've been in marriages 15, 20 years. When they made up their mind, they were gone. And everybody was like, you waited that long? He said, yeah, I made up my mind. I'm tired. I ain't doing this no more. So it's amazing what a made up mind will do.
Oh yeah.
When you decide you're not going to stand for something, you're not going to take it anymore, everything changes.
Yes.
Because everything you do was predicated on we're going to do this, not how we're going to do it, because we don't really care.
Yeah.
What about the how? We just want to know this is not going to go on anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude and that's the spirit that you have to transfer to your children. There are certain things in life you should not take, and there are certain things you should have a limit. Uh, there should be something that kills the whole program. It should be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Everybody got to have a deal breaker,
That's
and
true.
don't go beyond your deal breaker.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm not gonna date any man that does drugs. Well, he is making a lot of money. He only does it on the weekend.
No,
No,
that's a deal
it's a
breaker.
deal breaker.
Yeah.
Break it
Yeah.
and be
You
determined
won't
by
ever
doing it.
get caught up in nothing
Because your
like
children need to see you break a deal
that. Yeah.
and stand for what you say you're not gonna do
Yeah.
and what you're not gonna allow them to do.
Yeah.
You can do it someplace else, but you can't do it in this house.
Yeah. That's right.
I
So-
leave. Bye.
So Ed was getting a little off this subject, but anyway,
It's a good
so
subject.
so one of the things that you want to do too is a lot of people gulp their food, eat very fast, and sometimes I get teased because I eat and my brother do. We both eat, take our time and eat, chew our food. We eat slow. You're doing a lot better with that too. But I got my sister-in-law Tina, and also she just like a sister Pat. I tell her well Pat's doing a little better too. She's not eating as fast as she used to. But you get it from when you working. They both are retired now. Tina just recently retired, and so but they got it from lunch. When you're on lunch
You got
and you got to
40
hurry up
minutes.
and you got
Yeah.
just a certain amount of time. You got to hurry up and eat and get back to work. But it's not a good habit. So and those are one of the things that can cause reflux too, and acid and GERD. So you want to make sure that you eat slowly, make sure that your food digests properly, and then avoid foods, which a lot of times spicy foods can trigger acid reflux. Carbonated drinks, pops, and all can trigger acid reflux.
There's an emotional uh, component to eating too. You should never eat in a hurry. You should never eat when you're distressed. You should never allow anyone to argue with you or talk negative while you are eating.
Oh,
While
absolutely
you are
not.
ingesting food to serve your body, you should never be in a negative situation or
Right.
have people yelling and screaming and hollering. You should be calm and you should be relaxed
Yes, you really should.
and
That's a
take your
very good
time and
point.
eat. Otherwise, you will get indigestion.
Right.
Your body will reject it, and
Yeah,
you might get a stomach cramp just talking to somebody.
that's true.
So set the mood right, sit down, enjoy your meal, and relax.
Yeah.
And whatever you have to deal with it later.
Yeah, you should always. He's right on that. You should always eat in a calm environment, and that rushing to eat rather than rush and eat.
Just
You
wait,
should
don't
just
eat it
wait.
all.
It would be better to do that. And then one of the things, ladies especially, avoid, avoid tight fitting clothes, and that makes so much sense. You know the girdles and the
Spanx.
spanks and all of that. Uh, a lot of that causes a lot of problems, and that was something that was very popular a few years ago. And I mean, they had, I forget now what you call those, but they had these tops that you're supposed to put it on
Oh,
and look like you've lost 5 pounds or 10 pounds.
and
And then I had
you can't
somebody,
breathe.
I had I had somebody one time. They said that they was at the show at this demonstration. They tried that on. They had to have somebody cut them out of it because they didn't get to the bathroom. So avoid, ladies, and I don't
Being
know how many
that
ladies still
uncomfortable.
wear those, but you might want to say that would be a
No.
no. Don't wear those because they are not comfortable and they are not healthy. So wearing tight stuff around your stomach area to
Just,
press your stomach down,
just to show
and
off
then
your
when you take it off, your stomach looks like you're pregnant.
just
That is a lot of pressure
showing off
on your
your
stomach.
rolls.
Yeah, it's better to let them rolls show for your health sake, as opposed to trying to push all that in, and then you can't wait to get home, and then I mean, you just explode. So it's
Pressure on your
just not.
kidneys.
It really is. It's not healthy. And then another thing that soothes the esophagus, because you know that's where a lot of the reflux comes from, the acid reflux. Chamomile tea is very, very good. Licorice root, you take it, but you be very careful
Careful.
with it because licorice can raise your blood pressure. But one of the things that licorice root can do, it helps to increase the mucus coating of the esophagus lining, which help calms the effect of the stomach acid.
Uh,
And I'm going to say that again. The licorice root, when you do licorice, you have to be very careful, but because it can raise your blood pressure. But licorice root also helps increase the mucus coating of the esophagus lining, which helps to calm the effects of your stomach acid. And then the fastest way to neutralize stomach acid, and this is old school too, is baking soda. Baking soda can quickly neutralize stomach acid and relieve indigestion, bloating, and gas after eating. For this remedy, you just add a half a teaspoon of baking soda to 4 ounces of warm water and drink it. And
you
that
know, you know,
sodium carbonate is generally very safe and it's non toxic.
I suffered with that for years. I've suffered with that for almost 15 years when I was younger, and I couldn't figure it out. Acid reflux, it ate up my esophagus.
It didn't eat up your esophagus. And exaggeration.
It
No,
was
it did not.
It was
And don't
terrible.
put your mouth there. Yeah,
It was terrible. But a doctor told me that it was emotionally triggered,
yeah,
stress.
yeah,
And I said, what? He said, yes, you are doing it to yourself.
yeah.
So if you need to eliminate the stress in your life, after I eliminated the stress in my life,
It went away.
it went away. I
Yeah.
have had
And then when you found me, it just really, you ain't had a problem
I never
since.
had a problem.
Ain't never had a problem. Nothing but good life and love.
That's right.
Well, you're here at Intellectual Radio. We haven't played none of my music, but what you can do is you can make sure that you go on Spotify, you go on Amazon, you go on Pandora. I am on all streamings. Love is possible. We got some great tunes on there. I still say that "You Are" is one of the finest songs for anybody's
Mm-hmm.
relationship. I mean, the lyrics just melt me every time I hear them. And I'm fixing to add something to it. I'm fixing to add a handle to it because I'm going to redo it. And got some great ideas. I'm coming out with my holiday CD, hopefully by before Thanksgiving, if not shortly after, but I'm trying to do it before Thanksgiving. And
Oh,
again, got a lot of good things that we're going to be doing for 2022. Let all of this COVID and all of this go away, and so we can move forward. Which I see a lot of things. They brought Broadway back, and so it seems like everything is really coming back pretty swiftly, if you ask me, for them talking about this Delta rhythm and everything. So it's kind of amazing how the flow of everything is going, but. People need money, and I guess that's why they're doing all of this. It's sort
they
of a
need to live
financial
first.
thing. Yeah, well, we know that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we just want you to hopefully you got some good stuff out of what we said today, as far as some health items to put on your mind, and just make sure that again you keep your resistance up, keep your immune system up. And nothing is like that vitamin C. They have an immune tonic that you can just put under your tongue, and it's very good. And just do the things that make you whole, perfect, and complete. And you'll be surprised how good you'll feel. A lot of times, and again, it's emotional, like Ed was saying, and we go through so much as a people, so much stress. But now, even with jobs, you can get a job, you can almost write your own ticket. So, it's a mindset, it's how you think. Uh, and that has a lot to do with how you really feel.
So you think, so
So,
you are.
yeah, so you just keep on being positive, keep loving, and keep striving to do that which is good for you in your life. And that's why I always say, all you give is all you get. And just keep giving it all you got. We're here at intellectualradio.com, loving this platform to be able to share with you our special guests. We're going to get back the wonderful and our love, Bishop Carlton Pearson, to get his take on what's going on with all of these young kids being shot up, and which I believe a lot of that is personal, is what you hate, all the road rage on the expressways. I've never seen so much shootings and disaster on your expressways, and I mean, it's just creating so much fear that we
It's
just
change.
gotta. It's just a lot.
It's change on the move.
Yeah, but we gotta. We if things are to change, we have to change, and we got to stop all of this killing and all this road rage, because it just doesn't. We got to learn more patience with ourselves and with life. And if you want life, life will embrace you when you embrace life, and that's what you got to do. So I want you to stay tuned, stay seated, and our next show is coming up, and it is always phenomenal. The front line, and he's on the front line. He gonna bring you some front line messages, so you stay tuned. Thanks for joining Ed and I here at intellectualradio.com. We hope you got something out of our message today, and as always, Ed,
As always, I'd like to thank Wanda and Earl for establishing this beautiful studio where I can be myself again.
you have a wonderful night. Thanks for joining us. See you next Tuesday with Pamela Wilkes will be back. It's the first Tuesday. Bye-bye. Love is possible when you believe.